Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Another day, another stream. What's up, Crypto Ape? Hope you're well too, man. I'm doing alright. I'll wait for some people to filter through. Remember to smash up the like button, guys, as soon as you get in. Big shout out to Type Jack. So he's one of the fellow Discord members in Crypto Down Under, and he came up with a whole bunch of different thumbnails to use for YouTube. So thanks a lot to him. He's done a good job with this one, and that's pretty much like what we're dealing with so far. I mean, crab market sideways, you know. That's definitely what we've had since kind of like, you know, post FTX collapse, even arguably through here, like through, you know, the June. Let me go to the daily. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, this kind of activity here has been very much, you know, kind of crabby sideways. Now we're doing it again down here. So no big mega trends just yet. Nothing too noteworthy. But we're off to a new year, as we all know. So that's what this pink line represents, this vertical line. Everything right of the line, 2023. Everything left, 2022, of course. So where did we pick up yesterday? So yesterday's daily close happened on this gray vertical line here. And I was talking about a potential move. Let me just go down to, say, the 5-minute chart. I'm going to try and set it up like I had it yesterday. So through here, I mentioned after the daily... wait, let me change this to white. Okay. So we identified some kind of support from this point here, and a bit of support again from the daily close and open. So we were looking at, if you were to rewatch the stream, I mentioned that there might be a reaction off this area, this volume sort of zone, and then a potential bounce up, and it's definitely what we got. We retested these highs, couldn't make any commitment higher. It was just, you know, liquidity grabs, but definitely the top of some kind of range that we're dealing with there. And then, yeah, so this is about 24 hours of price action, roughly. We are approaching the daily close again. So that's about here where my cursor is. So beautiful trading conditions, really. We saw a bit of activity on Solana. I know that the boys have been scalping that with the Ishimoku clouds quite successfully, me included. I've done a couple. I've done about 8 trades, just testing out, you know, how to use that Ishimoku strategy to full effect. Who we got in the chat here? Boxer Burn, Let's Mars, Serrano, Jack. What's happening, man? Free trial. What did that dude say on that short you made? Oh, yeah. He was just saying, like, be careful of Tether. And, you know, people have been threatening Tether collapses since it came into existence. So I'm not overly phased, but yeah, I can show you. I'll show you the short that I'm talking about. I mean, by the way, you can totally be critical of anything I post. It's all good. I actually welcome it. So criticism's good. It keeps me in check. I don't want to be some runaway channel that just comes up with a whole bunch of crap and then, you know, try to convince people that I know what's going on. It's not about that. It's about trying to figure it out together, looking at the possibilities, and here it is here. 3, 2, 1, lift off. Holy shit. So that was our spike to 18K. So this was as the hour ticked over. One lift off. Holy shit! And we know that it spiked up to like 18k. I think it was 18 at the height, and it all happened in the first minute. So that's how amazing these CPI kind of releases can be. If I go back, what's up, Sarah? What's up, Lex and Stacy? How you going, guys? Smash up the like button. I'll try and stream as long as possible today, just to try and get as many people to filter through. Hopefully, we get some newcomers. But maybe I'll put up a poll like at some point in the stream just to ask how many people are brand new to this this channel, and how many people are the regulars, like that always come and check it out. Just I want to see a gauge of what I'm pretty sure like the majority of my audience is they're like the loyal followers that come back day in day out. So appreciate you guys a hell of a lot. You keep me motivated. So now tying this back to CPI, because we know that's coming up, right? I've got a couple of events that I've listed. These are all the quote-unquote critical events that are coming up on the calendar for price. So if I bring that up, go to the hourly chart, you can see there everything on the vertical axis there basically shows that we are approaching a lot of things coming up this week. What do we got? We're 9 minutes out from the daily close. CPI is all the way over here. So that's, let me just change this to the New York time frame so you guys can see the dates and times. Thursday, it's actually 8:30 in the morning. Let me just change to the 15-minute chart so I can get a bit more time resolution. But yeah, CPI, it is at 8:30 a.m. So 1 hour before market open. New York Stock Exchange opens, we get the CPI. I think that'll be the most pivotal event coming up. But there are some pretty important things coming up too in the near future. So tomorrow, so today we are, so currently in New York, it's like, what is it, 6 or 5:52 p.m. I don't know, the time zones and everything, I don't know if it's accurate, but anyway, we're basically Tuesday evening. We've got this, what is this, JOLTS job opening and the ISM manufacturing PMI. That's the first critical event coming up. That's at 10 o'clock in the morning. It could be 9, I don't know, it depends on the time zone. It's kind of skew-if because of the whole daylight savings factor. I don't know if TradingView factors in daylight savings or whether it's the Forex calendar that's doing that. But anyway, and then after that we have the FOMC meeting minutes. I was kind of curious. I'm like, why the hell do they call it meeting minutes? Like, is it they need to do it all in a minute? Like what? So basically all it means is the long and short of it. It's a summary. So if you think of minutes derived from the term minute or small, or, a summarized version of the meeting, that's all it means. So FOMC meeting minutes or meeting summary. Hopefully they've got some positive things to tell us in that meeting, but we're optimistic for markets, right? And then after that, we've got the ADP non-farm employment change. Take from that what you will. We'll see how that goes as well. But hopefully, these events here bring up a bit of volatility. We've got average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. This one should be pretty big, I think. This unemployment rate, that's so basically for the Fed to lower interest rates or to go a bit softer on the economy. more people unemployed means that they're getting what they want. They want more people unemployed to try and reduce demand, because demand is what drives inflation. If there's more demand than supply, suppliers have to raise prices to try to counteract that demand. So I guess the theory is the more people that are unemployed, the less money is circulating in the economy. So unemployment going up is a good thing for markets. Not a good thing for people, obviously. Everyday people, we want people in jobs, like we want people to be able to get by and live. But from a market perspective, yeah, that's kind of like the short-term effect they want to have to try and curb this out of control inflation. Now, so far, so good, right? It has come down a lot since that peak of 9.2% year over year inflation. So, and then after that, we've got the ISM services PMI. I won't pretend to know what that means, but it's another big event. I'm sure you can read further on what that means in the calendar, the Forex Factory calendar. Let's have a look. So these are the events here listed. ISM Manufacturing PMI is the Purchasing Managers Index, apparently. We've got, I don't know what this ADP acronym is. I'm not big on the acronyms. Automatic Data Processing, ADP. This all makes sense because it's in plain English. Average hourly earnings, how much people earn per hour on average, month over month. That report comes out. Non-farm unemployment change. So that's, I guess that's like employment excluding farming, perhaps, because I guess that sort of sector can counterbalance and outweigh what's going on. Now we've got 4 minutes until the daily close, so I'll keep this quick. ISM, Institute for Supply Management, Purchasing Managers Index. So that's what that ISM PMI high impact event, which are these red folders, right? And then there's a little bit of a gap, and then we got CPI coming up on the 12th of January. Now, this is in my time zone, so Brisbane, Australia, but obviously you can change that up here if you want to go to that website, Forex Factory, and check out those events in your time zone. So let's go back to Bitcoin. I'm going to jump onto the 1 minute chart because, well, let's start on the 15 and then zoom in. So yesterday we tried to maintain price action within this rectangle here, this zone. So resistance being on top, support being on the bottom. We have since kind of been rejected by that zone, so we came down, and we've done some kind of like I would call this an inverse head and shoulders reversal type structure, however you want to draw that, right? But the point being is we're once again getting higher lows and higher highs, so we are trending up into the daily close here. This was a big nasty drop. I think that is thanks to the DXY pumping in the last few hours there. But a quick glance, we'll have a look at the S&P in a minute, but that's holding that wedge there. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. Couple of minutes out here for the daily close. I'll put a vertical line here just so we can see where we're going. Might change this back to Brisbane just so I can get my bearings, my time zone bearings. We'll make it gray. All right. So that was today's price action. Pretty good, decent volatility compared to what we've had, around here. Like this was very tight, boring. So yeah, this is good for scalping. This is what you want. You want movement on Bitcoin. I think this was thanks to the S&P, the stock market getting back up and running for the new year, right? They had Monday off because of the public holiday, I think, and then Tuesday, back in action. So what are we? We're 30 seconds away from the daily close. So not a bad day. Pretty good day. We had some awesome action coming out of into the new year. This is our obviously 2023 high right here. All right, 10 seconds. So there it is. That's the daily close. And I'm going to hide this line here just so it's not in the way. Get rid of that line too. So yeah, the big question for today, do we crack back into this range again, test these highs that we had, or do we get rejected? Do we come back underneath and look for support? Now I got a couple of trend lines here. We know this is the long-term trend line coming in from our 2022 low all the way back over here and further, right? It goes a fair way back, this trend line. There it is. There's the 2022 low that I'm referring to. So that this trend line is a big, long, significant trend that I think is worth looking at. We're fighting to try and get back up on top of it. You can see we've spent a bit of time below it. But there has been a sub-trend, which is this dashed line here that I've sort of drawn out. We've had a test here, test, and test again. So that is somewhat, you know, pushing us higher too. There seems to be somewhat of a rising wedge structure that I can see. So that is a textbook bearish structure. We have fallen into that structure too. So it could be some kind of you could see it as some kind of a bear flag. So just, you know, don't get too optimistic just yet. I think these events coming up on the calendar might have a bit of significance as to how we perform outside of this rising wedge. But yeah, we'll keep our eye on it. I want to see if we get acceptance back up on top of this trend line here. Yeah, I mean, like was said in the chat there, this could be a bit of a red day or a daily correction, a daily dump, as free trial says. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to sort of impose my will on the market, my prediction, but let's just work with confirmation so far. So a little bit of a pullback, nothing too crazy just yet. I think the best thing to do is to let this settle into a bit of a rhythm before you start scalping or trading. The good old the VWAP or the VWAP, whatever you want to call it, the volume weighted average price resets or it recalibrates at the daily change, so the daily candle change. And once that settles down, once people realize or understand where that's sitting, it can, you know, provide a bit of like a psychological level for people to trade off or at. So right now, peeling back still. I think this zone is quite sticky for price. Like we do spend a little bit of time in it. Spent a bit of time in it over here. We're stuck in it right now. You know, this zone goes way back. Let's just have a look. Let me keep the orientation of it, or the scale, the ratio, the stretch scale. So you can see, yeah, we're just focusing on these zones and looking for evidence of activity off those zones. You can see up here there's a lot of examples of support at that zone, support at this zone down here as well. So it was an old zone. Look at this. This whole area, it's the same zone that we were dealing with back in, you know, leading up to Christmas, 18th and 19th of December, at least for me. We'll go back further. Support off it over here. Support again, a pretty bit of, I don't know, that's a pretty deep test. I don't know if that's, so resistance, your wicks going up to it. Resistance here. So You can see what I mean. You get the picture, right? So there's our, I believe that's the FTX drop. Now there is a lot, because I was showing you the smaller zone, these two thinner blue lines. Now if we zoom out further, we've got the two fat blue lines, these ones here, and this is like a larger zone that I've identified as well. So we've got a bit of traffic up here, a bit of resistance, 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 support, support, support. You can just see it. I don't have to circle it. You can just see it through here. A lot of activity. It's very sticky through here. Big example of support off that zone and then bouncing up, testing 18K. This was CPI. This was that little video that I showed you. This was the big old collapse after CPI, so the hangover, if you will. So leading up to CPI, it's a bit of a party. There's expectations of it being, bullish. So it's kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news event in this case. So remember, CPI and funds rate came out like at similar times. So I won't bore you with like what exact times that was, but it was in this sort of area. Anyway, there's been a big collapse back down into the blue zone, into like this range, and you can see very much so that we are bouncing in that range. We're sort of in the midpoint right here of that larger range, price range. And then of course, you zoom out further. Let's go to say like the 4 hour. And there's obviously going to be the more macro range, right? So you've got like the 2022 low, and then whatever high this is. But I would class it more as the June low, because we had a lot of action off that too. But yeah, no, we wicked up here. And I think it capped out here because of these. You can sort of see these lows here and that low there. So that's horizontally speaking, that's support resistance, right? You need to kind of understand where the major pivots are going to be, or where the zones are. So I think that's square one with technical analysis. Just understand your levels. You want to get your price levels in. And then after that, maybe start working on your trend lines. So these are the diagonal lines that come across, trying to sort of get an understanding of the trend of what's happening. So trend being, lows and highs, and then you draw a line to link up those lows and highs. That's your trend. So we are like, it seems to be like we're squeezing into an apex here. Like, our lows are getting higher, our highs are getting lower. It's not totally clear and clean, but at least it is somewhat following that behavior of getting lower highs and higher lows. So we've got a lot of, like I said earlier, these events coming up could start to shake things up. Who knows if it's going to cause an explosion to the upside, or we get a severe dump. I guess we just have to watch this space and see what comes. But yeah, for now, yeah, we're pretty choppy. We're still sideways. Hopefully there's enough volatility out of this daily candle to scalp with. But, the New York session has ended. I think that session tends to have the highest impact, in my opinion, on price action. So you lucky Americans get to scalp during the day while I'm sleeping. I miss out on all the activity. I think I have to change my sleeping pattern so that I can join in too. I'll turn off these events just so I can keep it clear. Let me catch up with a bit of the chat here. We've got DC Woodworking. How you doing, man? Should save a chart layout with all this and keep them forever so we can go back and peep it. Yeah, totally, dude. Yep. When I get a few more profits under my belt from trading, I'll invest in a TradingView subscription. I had one in the last bull market because I could justify it. But yeah, now that I'm getting back into the swing of of trading again and like streaming on a consistent basis, yeah, it's probably going to be worth that investment, like buying that subscription to TradingView. So I can justify it. Now the cool thing, you don't technically need a subscription to TradingView to be successful with the market, right? You can pretty much get all you need with the free version. Like all you really need is drawing tools, to be honest. And you get 3 indicators to use as well. So there's that. There's that too. Let me just show you what I've been scalping. So I've been scalping Solana on Bybit. So this is the perpetual contract chart. I'm going to turn the Ishimoku clouds. Shout out to Serrano for basically encouraging me to check it out. It is a really cool strategy for scalping. And by the way, Jack, shout out to you because you've shared a video only less than an hour ago or something like that about combining smart money concepts with Ishimoku as well. So I'm going to link that video in the chat for you guys to check out, because it looks like it's probably going to be a good one. I'll get the hyperlink there. So this channel looks like the guy is into Ishimoku trading. So there's that. I'm going to also put up the Discord link in case you guys want to hop into the Discord at any point. Got a lot of resources in there, by the way. There's a Twitter bot, so if you want to stay in touch with like the big news events that drop with Twitter, Twitter does receive a lot of information first. Like it's very quick. It probably beats Cointelegraph and CoinDesk by a mile, right? Like they have to actually write up an article and get pictures and like they have to publish it, whereas you're getting raw information from Instagram straight from the horse's mouth usually. Like the whole Winklevoss situation, that was in the moment. The action, the drama was happening on Twitter. So yeah, it's an interesting platform to pay attention to. So right now, yeah, like if I just hide this indicator for a minute, I want to do it all at once. Let me just go like this. I started scalping after my stream yesterday, so that was the 3rd of January at like around lunch. Yeah. So it was here. This was my entry and exit on the scalp. So the green line was my entry. I don't know if I entered back on this pivot exactly. It might have been on the way up, using the clouds and getting the indication. But I was only going for like like this situation. Let me show you. Like it wasn't meant to be a big play. It was only meant to be like a little something like that. And then, lo and behold, couple hours, as the day rolled on, it's been amazing. It's been trading like crazy. And a lot of this is when I'm sleeping as well, which is kind of sad. And here we are here. And it is still pumping. Like it's still on trend. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't be trying to short this, put it that way. If even with Ishimoku, it gives you options for both. Like you can scalp in both directions, but I think you're going to get a lot more powerful action out of the longs scalping this until the larger time frame direction changes. So like on the 15-minute, you can see we're still getting higher lows, higher highs. Obviously, be careful. You don't want to just throw caution to the wind because it's a strong uptrend, right? things that go up strong can come down strong too. So you've got to be careful. Always have your stop loss in place. You know, think about skydiving. You always want to make sure your parachute's working, or if you go bungee jumping, you want to have that cord attached to your feet properly. So use that stop loss when you're trading, and you won't get stuck or liquidated. All right, let's go back down to the 1 minute. This was me like trying to sort of identify a super short-term trend. Like this is a micro trend, you could say. And you can see as it extends, like maybe I should have this as a ray rather than a trend line. Let me delete that and we'll redraw it with a ray. If I can remember where I had it, something like that. And so, yeah, it's just about sort of getting a feel for how price is reacting off a trend. So you can see it's been using it as support here, climbing, and then here's a big example of resistance. And right now we're at that trend again, seeing if we're going to pop it. I don't know, it's less likely that you pop it to the upside after such, you know, bullish activity. We could, I don't want to say no, but just be cautious of trends like that. It could start, you know, treating it as resistance. It could still stay bullish, by the way, and do this, you know, like where it's just trading below it rather than on top of it. So it's one way to look at it. Just want to get rid of this vertical kind of stretch that we got going on and see if there's any other. Yeah. Look at that. Here, we're popping it. We're popping through it. It may be wick. We've still got like 20 seconds left on this candle, but you can see just the way it behaves. If I turn the clouds on, see, the Ishimoku clouds, they give you kind of like the confidence to enter positions that you may not have entered. Like if you were trading naked, like with no indicators or blind. But at least with the indicator, you've got, you know, okay, we're in a cloud here. I can set my stop just below the cloud, and I can enter on the right signaling, right, and use that to build courage, because it can be scary going long, like in a crazy trend like this, right? Like you don't want to FOMO, like, you know, you've got that voice in the back of your head, don't FOMO, like you don't want to FOMO into something and get stuck. Like, so, you know, at least with this, you know where to gauge, you know, your stop losses, that kind of thing. And at least, you know, you have to enter somewhere, right? Whether it's a short or a long, you know, there's always going to be risk. It's always going to be dangerous. You'll always have someone saying that it's FOMO, and you'll always have someone telling you that you're catching a falling knife. Like it's just, that's the way it is when you're trading volatility, right? But yeah, with risk comes reward, and with reward comes risk. So it's like a balancing act. You just got to find what's comfortable for you, and go with it. I'm new to the Ishimoku thing. I'm only like 3 days in. I haven't been using a hell of a lot of money. I haven't been targeting very high. I kind of wish I did, because it's been trending amazing. But I've done about 8 trades so far. So we've had 3 losers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners. So that's about 60 something % win rate. 62.5% win rate. So that's not too bad. Like that's, if I can maintain that performance, you know, I can just steadily grow my trading account or my trading balance over time. Obviously, you know, it's only a few bucks when I win. It's only a couple of bucks when I lose, but that's because I'm learning it. I'm not confident in my own, how shall I say it, my own skill with the strategy, I suppose. But when I develop that um, consistency, I'll up the ante a little and change what I'm playing with in the trades. But yeah, it's possible. The Ishimoku, like for a complete beginner like me on Ishimoku, like you can see it's not terribly difficult to at least break even 50-50 win rate, right? If not, make profit. I did make some stupid mistakes on the losing trades that I did too. Like I could have avoided um, those stupid losses. And a lot of that's due to trend as well. Like I think the first one I lost because I was trading against the trend. I was taking a short position based off the clouds, and I ended up stopping out. So, and then another one, I pulled my stop loss too close. I didn't allow the price action enough room to breathe because you still need the trade to breathe to some degree, right? Otherwise, you're going to get stopped out very, very often, and you're going to lose money that way if you're constantly getting stopped out. It's probably a combining factor of your entries not being great and also your stops being way too tight. So it's just a balance. You have to strike a balance, and no two trades are going to be the same, right? Some winners are going to be awesome. Some winners are going to be like 30 cents. You just have to take them as they come. But that's the same with any strategy, really, from what I can tell. Unless anyone knows a better strategy, do share. So, did I share the video that? Yes, I did. Okay, the video that Jack came across and put up in the Discord was combining Ishimoku with the smart money concepts, which is this indicator. I'll flash it for you. So the one that indicates the change of character and the break of structure, market structure. So it's certainly. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm pretty keen to check it out and see if there's any way to combine the two to get the most out of it. I don't know. Can you guys hear my cat meowing in the background? Cherry, come on. Come here. She's meowing a lot. Good girl. She's still getting over her. She's had a little kidney infection, but she's on the mend. She's super skinny right now. She's like skin and bone because she hasn't been eating in a while, and but I think she's on the mend. She's always hungry. That's a good sign because she all right, Dan, you get. Yeah, she basically lives next to her dinner bowl, meowing, waiting for food. Like even after she eats, she's still constantly on it. All right, look at Solana. Look, we've popped up above this trend again, and we've just used it as support. Look at that. Could this be gearing up for another rally up? I don't want to say yes or no. Like it, play it by ear. As far as Ishimoku goes, I wouldn't be entering any positions this far away from the cloud. It wouldn't be. You want to sort of get entries as price exits the cloud. Like so here, here sort of counts too. It was only a little one that went to here. But you want to sort of get in as price is leaving the cloud, not getting in outside, like far distance away. This was a nice one over here. I'm sure this was probably a setup. Price left the cloud here. There was time to get in, and then bang, beautiful like strike up, hitting profit. It did not come back. It did not, like if you entered on this candle close here, coming out of the cloud, the stop would never have been hit, even if you had it as tight as like your entry, right? So that's how awesome that is. Solana's still having it's off to a great start, 1.3% up for the day. It's good to see that volatility is starting to potentially come back into the market, right? You know, some altcoins here, ETHW, so wrapped ETH, up 2.2% on Bybit. Flow, Carver, Solana, One, Harmony, INJ. Yeah, a few movers here. I don't know what's in a retracement right now. Phantom, Ren, Zen, Alpha, LDO. Yeah, Sand. But yeah, interesting. Let me go back to our watch list. That's right. I was going to talk about the S&P. So first day back into it for 2023. Massive drop, huge gap. I mean, this is like a 5-day gap between trading, something like that. Oh wait, no, maybe not. Hang on a minute. When was the last trading day? Friday. So 1, 2, 3, 3 days off, causing this huge gap. Gap got filled pretty quick, didn't it? Price came back down, filled the gap, went further down, and here we are meeting that trend line once again. So it's the cool thing about the S&P, it seems to respect trend lines pretty nicely. You don't get like those crazy, well, you still do, but it's not as often that you get those dirty retests. Thanks, Jack. Solana's moving up right now. Yep. Still trending. Look at that. So that trend line was useful, having that there just to understand, you know, if price pops up and then pulls back and uses it as support, it can head back up. So it is possible, even in a really dramatic uptrend that seems like you're FOMOing, right? You just got to have the conviction and the courage to get in. So this was the entry. If you're playing by the strategy, price needs to close outside the candle after being inside it for a long. So that's right here. Closed here. Open your entry. Now this lagging white line here is, let's just call it the lagging line. That needs to be up above the clouds too. You need to have a Kumo twist or at least a green cloud ahead. Just pretty sure that's what we had at this stage. Maybe it was right here that we were starting to get that switch. So yeah, that's the recipe for success there. So Kumo twist, closing outside the cloud to the top side, and then having this lagging line popping up through the clouds too. Now the other check that you need to pass, so there's four checks really. This is kind of like a sub check. It's not totally as strong as the Kumo twist and the TK cross. The TK cross is this blue and yellow line, orange line, if you can see it. But yeah, taking off beautifully. Wow, rocket. So it's been doing this like for hours. Like it's, you know, these consolidation areas and then rip. Just be careful because it's not going to happen forever, right? Always play with a stop loss. You don't want to be anything. You don't want to be in anything that's crashing or correcting, right? When you're trading. So don't FOMO. I would not be. Don't buy the top of this. Buy at the cloud. The safest point to get in is when you get the signal, when you get a candle closing outside the cloud, if that makes sense. So I can kind of see in conjunction with not only the clouds and the Ishimoku, strategy, but also the smart money concepts, just showing you where the change of character was here. Yeah, break of structure. So high getting higher, like it's just indicating or confirming a trend, right? This one would have been tricky. This was kind of like a change of character to the downside, because we had this low and then a push lower. So that might have faked a few people out, got a few people bearish. But yeah, what an entry. If you sort of saw through that as just a liquidity grab, then that was a really beautiful, that was a very nice entry. But Ishimoku's not going to give you that entry. That's not how Ishimoku's strategy works. So be careful with that. Almost 4% up from that low there. If we take the extreme low, let me try to grab it to the extreme top. It's a 4% move within how many minutes? Within 26 minutes. Awesome. 4% in 26 minutes. That's like bull market performance, really. Yeah. 4% mama. Yeah, exactly. What do we got? 20 people in the stream. We're 49 minutes in. I feel like I've been talking my face off. I might pop into Discord if anyone's keen to join me. Feel free. Otherwise, I'm just going to be chilling. Watching Solana, really, it's fun to watch something that's on trend rather than just something that's chopping sideways and doing nothing, right? Where's our daily? All right, so we're somewhat with Bitcoin. We haven't done anything yet. We've gone like this today in the 31 minutes that we've been in this candle. So we're still messing around with this sticky zone, this blue zone, right? We're still at it. Maybe we're trying to convince enough bulls to get in and push us up out of this zone, but yeah, that's where things are at the moment for me, or for everyone. This is a pretty significant trend line on Bitcoin, this blue one, right? Let's have a sticky beak at some other coins. So we got Solana on trend. We know that's awesome for trading. It's one to watch. It might even be something that trends for days. Like, you don't know. Like, it can happen. It can happen. But we'll wait and see. Now let me open up a new frame here just to have a sticky beak at some other coins. We got Dogecoin. What's it doing? It's doing okay. It's corrected quite heavily. Probably with Bitcoin's correction, thanks to the DXY, right? But yeah, it's trying to bounce. It's trying to get back up. I think yesterday we spoke of this really big trend line of resistance coming down, and it seems to be, for lack of a better term, sticky once again. Price is sticking to it and not able to leave that zone just yet, having action above and below that line. You can see all of the attempts that poor Bitcoin has tried to make to break out, you know, and get out of this zone finally, you know. It'll happen eventually, but yeah, it's definitely fighting it. What else we got? Ethereum. We're gonna have a quick look at Ethereum. Let's go to the daily. How has ETH been going? Still in the big old pennant. Jeez, look how low volatility it is. Look at that. It's just been flat. Go to the 4 hour. Yeah, poor old Ethereum. Just on the floor right now. Yeah, this is perfectly matching the thumbnail for today's stream. Crab market, right? Chopping sideways, walking sideways like a crab. So yeah, pretty gross for trading. I wouldn't trade that. Not much volatility, and we know that Ether's the second biggest crypto, right? Yeah, as far as market cap is concerned. So its moves aren't going to be that impressive compared to some of the other altcoins. Like so the fact that Solana has reset this heavy has meant that it's got its performance back as far as like percentage moves, right? There's its all-time high up there, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then it has plummeted a lot. Now, just to sort of demonstrate what I'm talking about. Okay, a move from here to here. Wait, let's do this the other way around. Let's go up to the all-time high, yeah? Okay, an all-time high move from here to here was 6%, right? This is what I mean in the difference of performance. If you take that same dollar move, right? It's the same value, dollar-wise, of a move. And you bring it down into the depths of the bear market. Look at this. You can get 120% performance off the same move down here than you did up here. It only got 6%. But down here, 120, 100, you know. So the cheaper something goes, the more performance you're going to get out of it for scalping and trading, right? So Solana, awesome correction. Fundamentally, who knows what it's going to be in the future, like if it's going to get back to its all-time high. It doesn't really matter if you're trading. Because trading, you're using stop losses, you're in and out, you're not committing to it long term. So you know, a stop loss is going to rescue you from any kind of further collapse that Solana has. And that's the same with anything, even Bitcoin, right? If you're paranoid about it failing, like just trade it then. Like trades using stop losses, go long and short on it. You know, when the environment, when the conditions are right, you can short it. So no stress. But yeah, Bitcoin still in the sticky zone. Nothing too crazy just yet. Looks like we got Serrano in Discord. What's up, dude? If you can hear me anyway. You might be AFK. So yeah, there we go. That's pretty much all of the important things. Are you finishing up eating? All good. Type Jack's waiting for the Steve Owen market. Ooh, bit of a okay. Bitcoin doesn't like it. It's coming down. Could we see some action off this sort of trend here we're getting? Getting like Twitter notifications on my phone, yeah. Elon Musk, please comment on this matter. See what that's all about. IRS invites consumers to comment on EV tax credit qualifications. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole nother kettle of fish, a whole nother story. So check it out if you're interested. Now I got a bit of a corrective move happening on Bitcoin here, so chopping back down. All right. As far as viewers go, how did we go today? We got peak of 26. Thanks for joining me, guys. It's always a pleasure. Ghost of Corey Bing Bong. I love that name. That's great. Harmonics are great. Yeah. I'm pretty, I'm itching, chomping at the bit. I really want to go watch that video that Jack put up in Discord about ICT trading, so inner circle trading mixed with Ishimoku. So probably going to wrap it up, guys. Keep your eye on this zone. If you want to sort of draw out this zone, I mean, it's a rough estimate anyway. It's basically 16,666 with a high, with the top part of the zone. What I have here is 16,675. So that's the zone there. You can see them in the blue. And then the top part of the zone, I'll highlight that too. So 16,754 and then 16,769 is the extreme top. So those are my zones. Rewind the video if you need to check the price levels for those. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it there. I'm going to keep this one short today. I'm going to wrap it up, and once again, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow, same time. Take care. See ya.